sing babies.
Yeah.
Happy
Hello everyone. With the beginning of every day, there comes this thought of what to cook and what to eat. Especially now that I'm working towards my weight loss journey, we always have this tendency that weight loss recipes are quite boring with no flavors and texture, and one has to have a strong determination to literally give up on all the tempting recipes. Well, let's erase this myth with some super gorgeous food which is healthy and scrumptious recipes that I'm going to share it with you all today. So in today's video, I'm sharing wholesome methi jowar with potato skins, onion rings, yes, you heard it right, and paneer gravy, pizza with carrot fries, and wholesome loaded sandwich. So here I have washed and soaked for 24 hours time are these whole grain jowar that I'm pressure cooking for 5 whistles time with fresh water. And the best solution for a healthy living is using an air fryer than deep frying. So here I have my T31 air fryer oven from Prosanic, making cooking easier than ever. It has 15-liter capacity, which is quite large, provided with variety of accessories and is smarter with app control as well. Best way to reduce eating fat. I have set the air fryer to preheat for 5 minutes time and have one large sweet potato with skin which I have washed, and sweet potato has great health benefits and can be easily used as an alternative to the normal potatoes to cook many of the dishes. I have cut it in circles, smearing in oil and air frying it on one side for 15 minutes time at 190 degrees temperature. I flip them over for the next 15 minutes time. Coconut oil is a great substitute than using the sunflower oil, which helps in digesting the food and is very good for hair and skin as well. I'm adding in mustard seeds, a teaspoon of urad dal, 2 crushed garlic cloves, 1 medium-sized onion finely chopped and 1 green chili, half a bunch of methi leaves, menthe soppu that I saute, and then I add in the cooked jowar. Now I add in 1/8 teaspoon of turmeric powder, salt and coriander leaves. And then finally I add in a few drops of lime. Simple but very healthy breakfast that will keep you filled up for a very long time. Jowar is gluten-free, rich in fiber, controls blood sugar levels, high in protein, full of iron, and is good for your bones as well. I've added in a few red chilies for flavoring. I better get started with dinner now. So here is a very healthy version of enjoying pizza in my way that I have tweaked completely, keeping it healthy and Indianizing it with Indian flavors, for which I chop all that is needed, in which way it's going to be very easy and very fast once I start cooking. So I have a pizza topping with green peppers and red chilies. I'm using a crinkle cut knife to cut the carrots for carrot fries, and onions into thick circles that I use the big rings, the outer rings, keeping them aside for onion rings, and the sides of the onion for gravy, the cute little inner circles for pizza toppings, in which way we will be very sensibly using all the parts of the onions and making them perfect for every recipe. I'm using gingerly oil, which is sesame oil, yellenne, for making the gravy with cumin seeds, onions, half a teaspoon of dhania seeds, which is coriander seeds, kothambari kalu, half a teaspoon of garlic and ginger paste, and then when it turns aromatic, I add in 1 big tomato, kasuri methi, half a teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder, half a teaspoon of cumin powder and garam masala, salt to taste, and then I allow it to cool down. And here is to how I create a base for the pizza with fresh carrots and beetroots that I grate. I have 3 carrots and 1 beetroot that I've grated, and to this I'm going to add in salt and red chili powder that I combine first, and then add in very small portion of ragi flour and bajra. Now the quantity of the flour is entirely up to you. The more flour you add, you will get more firm and strong base. But the taste is excellent when it's more of vegetables than the flour. I have tried both the variations with more flour and with less flour, and both are my favorite. I have now divided it into 2 portions and letting it to set for an hour's time. Now that it's dinner time, onto the cooking tray with very little oil at the bottom, I spread the dough with my fingers. We want it to be thick, not thin. And on the other side, I place the carrot sticks with very little oil on both, setting it for 10 minutes time at 190 degrees. The turbo air technology T31 increases the cooking efficiency by 30% and 7 times air circulation speed, and locks the moisture inside the food to make it crisp and juicy with up to 90% less fat. So don't you think this is the best option to cook food in an air fryer? Well, now I have grinded the gravy and have these breadcrumbs ready that I have in the freezer. I'm using it today, and Prosenic also provides great variety of food recipes that we can follow straight away from the recipe book. I'm now so wanting to eat the onion rings, so I add in salt and paprika to the breadcrumbs with some low-fat yogurt or buttermilk, or you can use egg if you eat egg. And in a separate bowl, I'm adding in all-purpose flour, which is maida. I dip the rings one by one in the yogurt, dusting by the plain flour and then back into the yogurt, and then combining and coating it with breadcrumbs. Now there are many a times you do get tempted, especially when others are eating, making such easy, delicious recipes at home, satisfying your cravings, yet taking the weight loss chart for your daily intake. Now with the base ready, I apply a good amount of the spicy Indian gravy, spreading it out equally and evenly, and then I top it up with onions, green peppers, sweet corn, red chilies, paneer cubes, and if it was for my kids, I would have added in lots of cheese as well. So here is to a very healthy version of pizza with a base that is filled with goodness and topped with veggies that are loaded. The preset panel with different cooking options, temperature control and time that can be set by rotating the knob makes it all easy to operate. I'm leaving a link of my very favorite Prosenic T31 air fryer oven in the description box, so please make sure to check it out. Enjoying my very version of healthy Indianized English and Italian food to its best, that neither can I or you be guilty of eating a plateful. And when I tried making this recipe for the very first time at home, this is how it turned out, and the base being very firm with more flour that I added it then, and this one is loaded with cheese for my kids. Now, along with good food, good intake and making sure you're fit and healthy, it's also very important to pamper and look after your skin and hair. And I found the flaxseed gel application working really good for me. So this is what I do. I add in a small cup measurement of water, and to this I add in a teaspoon of flax seeds that I set to boil for 8 to 10 minutes time. And parallelly, I have little millets that I've washed and soaked in water overnight that I've set to boil. It's important to sieve immediately. If you allow it to cool down, then it's not easy to sieve. So I use a stainless steel sieve for this purpose and allow it to rest for an hour's time, in which way it becomes a perfect gel for application. Using the sweet potato that I had left over from yesterday and the gravy, I mash the sweet potato, adding in the millets and the gravy with very little of salt and chili flakes. Making it into a flat patty that I'm going to set in the air fryer for 5 minutes time on both sides. I also keep the thins by smearing very little of coconut oil. Layering it up with ketchup, well, this is entirely optional, and then I add in cucumber slices, tomato slices and patties. This sandwich tasted incredibly good with goodness that I loved eating it. So whenever from now on we have some leftover gravy Indian curry, this is something that I would love to do again. After an hour's time, this is how the flaxseed gel turns out to be, thick and slimy, that I apply first onto my face all over, under eyes and around the eyes as well. And then I partition my hair in sections, applying the gel first onto my roots and then onto my hair. This quantity becomes sufficient for one-time application and to the length of my hair, that I follow this once a week in between coconut oil massage for the week. So after an hour's time, I give a good shampoo wash. I personally find this home remedy very good for me. My hair fall being less, hair turning out to be shiny, silk and soft, and also graying of hair is not as rapid as it used to be.
I found this really good one. Didn't do Newcastle. Fun sing babies. Happy birthday to you. Dear Mum. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Go on, make a wish.
Yeah. Clap to him, okay? Tap it over. Oh.
ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಬರ್ತೀರಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರ್ರಿ
I really hope you found this video quite useful with recipes satisfying your cravings in a very healthy way to simple home remedies looking after your skin and hair.